right, welcome back. The sound is messed up, so let me fix that real quick. All right, that looks good. Okay, so welcome back. Today we're going to do three things. We are going to do some Puzzle Rush Survival, then we're going to do some Puzzle Inception, and then we're going to culminate, after warming up thoroughly, with one position from Think Like a Super GM. I encourage you to keep track of how you're doing. I'll tell you how many points you get at the end, and we'll have fun with the book. All right, let's get rolling then. Probably these first couple are going to be very quick, very easy, so let's kind of breeze through them. What's up, Daniel? How are things doing? Does that work? Does that sound right? How are things doing? How are things going? I don't know. It's been a long day. All right. Well, this is just a queen in the face mate. It actually took me a second, though. I looked at some other things first. Another queen in the face mate, thanks to the bishop. Checkmate here, unblockable. Checkmate again. So, like I said, these early ones are kind of not worth spending our time on. But, doing very basic puzzles is reasonable. Is this what we want to do first? To drive him back and then go here? Seems like it. I'll then do the mate. That is also mate. Here, back row mate. Okay. Won his first round of a Swiss at my club. Very nice. I did the opposite. I lost round one of the Swiss. Fascinating game where I played very poorly, was very resilient, found an amazing tactic, was winning at the end and lost. I got to feel all the emotions. I am a human, and it's terrible sometimes. Is this our move? Double attack? Are we just up 1,000,000 pieces of material? We are up a... I guess not. I guess we're up a queen for a rook and a piece. So going here, if we win a piece, would look pretty good, and I think that works. So we'll do that. That is mate once more. All the mates, all the time. Check, covered. What do we do when he goes back, though? When he goes back, like if he goes to B1, then what? I guess if it goes to B1, we take the rook, and then we're just doing really well. If it goes to C1, then we can check with the knight. So I think this looks pretty solid. I guess there's a couple other moves I should have looked at, but that's okay. Had two nice tactics in your game. First, I got 2 pieces for a rook. Very nice. I'll show my losing position today at some point. It'll be fun. You can see what happens when you play bad. I think this is mate, right? We go here, goes back, mate. Yeah, well, I mean, gives the rook, is that mate? Sure. You want to do it that way. Okay, so we're threatening here, threatening to win a piece. Can we do it so that the bishop can't move? Yes, we could take here. And then if he takes back, it's this thing. And if he doesn't, then we go here and we win the piece. Okay, like to move there. Not quite mate because of that. Check into the corner. Wait, is this... Oh, this doesn't work because of the queen. Okay, so I'm back to this idea. Here, blocks. Huh. How am I not? Let's see. Check. there. I don't know. I mean, this has to work. I don't know what is happening with my brain that I can't see what appears to be a very easy mate. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Yeah, and I was thinking the knight couldn't go here, but of course the knight can go there. The queen moved up. Ooh, calculation's hard. Second, Daniel's queen was attacked, and he counterattacked the opponent's queen, netting in exchange, then up a full piece in an ending. That's pretty nice. I also was up a full piece in an ending and lost. Oh, it still hurts. Still hurts. All right, this is mate. It's just an epilogue mate because of our other rook. And then this is just mate, even though they have 2 queens. I didn't even look that they had 2 queens. I didn't even notice they had 2 queens at first. It doesn't even matter. They can have 7 queens. This one's a little harder. It feels like this is not just an easy, like, there's the mate. So what are we going to do here? A knight is quite pinned. And if I move, say, queen e5, which was my first idea, they just take the knight with the queen, and probably mate is sure to come after. We'll have to calculate that more if I decide that's the only line I can find. I could play rook d5, hitting the queen, hitting the knight, and the queen actually can't guard the knight. So I think this works. Wait. Yeah. Because the knight's pinned the other way. Does that not work? If I go here, he gets the rook. And then it's even? Huh? What? Currently we are down nothing. Currently we're even. So we are up a whole knight there. I didn't realize it, huh? Okay. So if I just move the king, I don't think that works. I take. Maybe it is take rook here. That looks like it works. I'm too tired, I'm realizing, to calculate like super carefully. So I will not get very far in this one, I can tell you already. I'm predicting 32. I can feel my brain is like, you did not sleep well last night. Why are you doing this? Just go watch TV or something. Don't use me. It's been a long day. Leave me alone. All the things my brain's saying. Here. Oh, only move. Check. Holding the escape square is back row mate. We'll do it with this one and take here. This is mate? Question mark? Yeah, that's mate. Check there, check there. This is just a very common pattern, and it works. So I didn't even look to see if the moves worked at first. I just did the pattern and then said, yeah, no, that works. Queen takes b6 is a check. True. Queen takes b6 was a check. If we're getting forked, not great. Don't like the fork. What's the material like here? We are up nothing. It is even. Surprising that this is even, given that we have a piece hanging. And if we move that, well, can we actually, no, we can't threaten makes. If we go like queen takes b7, knight takes rook, queen a8 check, they can actually just block because the knight is guarding it. So we can't get a mate. Even though their king looks very, very vulnerable, I don't think there is anything with mate. Oh, okay. I think this is actually much easier than I was making it out to be. I think it's just bishop takes knight, and then if takes, takes. So let's see. Do they have some cool move after this? No. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay. Is that mate? It certainly looks like it. It is. I don't think I've seen so many easy mates in a survival before. This is kind of weird. You should name this pattern. Which one is it? The queen and knight tango mate. I don't know which one we're talking about. Because I am thinking about doing another one of those courses. So having a mate like that would be good. Queen and knight tango. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. The boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's true. I wonder what that would be. I have to think that's in the 100 tactical patterns you must know. But maybe not, because that's not as much about mating patterns. Alright, so this is what I'm guessing is the answer, but let's actually see if it works. Just like intuition says that's probably right. So if I go there, all these squares are covered. Only squares here. And then I come over. Well, this is after... Oh, but it's drawn up. So takes, and now all the squares are covered. So if I go here, the only way out is to go there. And in that case, right, we can put the rook here. Okay, so they take, and then the knight. White to move. This is a weird one. I have to assume it's here. The king moves, takes king here, and then we run. That looks easy enough. Oh, what was I talking about? I don't know what happened there. Like I said, my brain is tired today. There was some short circuiting that happened. A lot of that today. Okay. What now? What about takes, check? We're covering a lot of squares. My guess is we're not covering enough. Because it looks like, well, if there... Nope, the knight covers that little trick. Okay. Also, their queen is hanging. I didn't realize that. Also, we could go here. This seems quite strong. So all this is covered. All of that is covered. All of that is covered. Which means there's only one move, which is there. And then from there... we go here, and that's me. Interesting. Okay. Here we go again. It's going to be, I think, rook g2. King moves, takes. Pawn takes with check, though. Then we go to h4. Then they mate us on h8. So that seems bad. Actually, this is mate. I was thinking they could just go here, but the knight, and they can't go anywhere. Okay, so let's just mate. Every move, this one is just mate. Obvious move is here. The knight is covering it. Queen takes. Doesn't look like mate to me. They look like they should be fine. All their pieces are pretty well guarded. Ah, here's the move. The unfortunate diagonal right from someone's chessboard course. What's that guy's name? Dr. Skull or something? Yep. Right from his course. That would be mate, but it's still this pattern. Takes, pinned here, takes. So I've seen this pattern on about 1 million puzzle rushes. So now that pattern's just locked in, which is nice. Yep, Daniel found the unfortunate diagonal, but he didn't find the name. Like, the name's half the thing, right? You gotta know the name. He might not have my course. Oh. Daniel, how could you? Okay. Let's see. Enough shaming of Daniel if he doesn't have my course. It's okay if he doesn't. I don't think it's meant for his level anyway. Push the knight away. Let's say the knight goes here. We go here. The knight's pinned. It looks like we win it. We go here, the knight goes there. Now we check. I don't know. King just goes back. Ooh, then we win that. So let's say king goes here, but then we go here. I don't know. This doesn't seem good enough. Taking the bishop doesn't seem to do anything. They take with the queen. Can't do much. Yeah, I think kicking the knight away is probably our best bet. We get the check. We infiltrate. So, yep. Okay. I think. Oh, but he does know something. David versus Goliath. Yeah, queen in the face mate is not in the course. It doesn't have the simple one move things like that. It's more about like tactical ideas. It might, some puzzles might culminate in that, but that's not a motif. Okay, black to move. This feels like the answer. In fact, it is, right? It's just outright checkmate. So many basic checkmates. Very strange. This does not work because of the bishop. I was thinking about sacking here, but this bottom rank is very well cared for. So what are we even trying to do here? Okay, maybe it's here. Threatening mate. It doesn't seem to do that much though. It's like we go here, they back it up, and that really gets us nowhere. What if I sack first? No. Another thing is here, threatening mate, threatening to win a piece, but it's guarded. So I'm very much struggling with what the heck are we supposed to do here? I don't know. This is the first one where I'm very worried I'll be stumped. I could also go here, but once again, that doesn't seem to do that much. I guess it is harder to do either of those moves. They can't do that. Yeah, so I guess this does work pretty well. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what my problem was there. I could not figure out what's happening. Oh, I can move that there with the same idea. Okay, I don't quite know why the queen didn't work there, so I actually want to see. So takes b6, queen here, +5 because we hung our rook, and it's not mate because the queen is guarding it. You foolish fool! All of those moves I was looking at, I was like, all right, it would be mate on g2. It's not mate on g2. Not on g2. That was a little embarrassing. Okay. People at home are going to be like, are you being serious right now? Like, what is wrong with you? Could go here and pin the rook. Certainly something. Can't break the pin very easily. Lots of ways to keep that king away. If they just push the pawn, I can check. King goes to g1. I guess maybe then I could go like here. Checking. I mean, I don't see anything else to do. I guess the question though would be then which one? I think it'd be this one, so I could still get checks along here. But the queen is there! Oh, jeez. Okay, hopefully this was wrong. Nope, it was right. Oh, my goodness. Well, I predicted 32, and I'm not far away from my prediction. Not far at all. What are we at, 31? 30. Yeah, I got the pin and win and then decided to win in the most ridiculous way. Oh my. Okay. What about takes, blocks. takes. I could do the bishop move first to kick him off, but can he go somewhere more annoying? Like just here? I don't think so. I think that's what we do. I think we go here first and then sack. Although wait, what if here? And then when I sack, takes here, and I have nothing. So maybe that doesn't work. I feel like I need to sack first with the queen. Queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, queen blocks. Rook takes, king takes, bishop d2 check. Gets away, no problem. Maybe he can't. Maybe I was doing this wrong. So if no, you can go here. Another possibility is sack here, here, check. Don't think that works. G7 would be mate if the queen got there. Ah, I think I see it. I think it's actually take, check. Maybe not, because then here. And then if I take with the rook, takes, check, comes out. Man. Takes. Boy, I can't quite solve it. I'm going to do with what I think is the right answer. So maybe now I do something like this? No, it just goes there. Alright, I'm going to go here. And then how do I... Oh, I see. Now I go here. And then here. And then me. Okay, well... only kind of got that one. I knew that was the answer. It's a puzzle. Like, it was clearly the answer. Okay, they're up a piece. If I go takes, there. Moves over. I'm just down a rook, I believe. I think here we maybe get mate. Check. Only move here, here. Gets away. But if here... No. Maybe it's here? Then here. Close. Good. Okay, I think I got it now. Check. Only move this way. Now when he goes up, we go behind. Okay, so what was it again? It was here, there. All right. Check. Here. Here. There. That was good. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Just take the rook. We need to keep the pressure on, but I think this will work. And then this rook comes down for the mate. It's not quite mate actually, so let's make sure there's nothing else we want to do. So go here, goes there, goes where? I guess queen c2, then he comes out. Could play queen d4 now. It's got a couple moves. Yeah. So check there. Okay, I'm looking at check here, there, here, like here, and then it goes this way. I don't know. Maybe it gets away. This would win. I can't get my queen there. Ah, maybe this is good enough. Here. Yeah, then the queen can take there. Huh? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm at 33, so I'm pretty happy with how I'm doing today. Okay, I can accept this. Here, here. Here. This, though, I think is actually mate. No, it can go here, but still take. Okay. New plan is 40. We're going for the big 40. Queen takes c6 check. Moves up. Bishop c5 check. B mate. So queen takes king d8. I don't know. Maybe I take the rook. We're only even after I take the rook. And in fact, no, you can't take there at least. So you can only take there. It'd be 3 minors to 3 minors. We're technically even. Is there something better I have? Like check. Or check here. Maybe even rook b1 and not giving up the piece and then getting their piece. That seems like a good idea. Okay. Check here, mate. Check here, mate. This is promising, but looks like they could go there. This is a very messy position. A lot of stuff sort of loose-ish for white. Looks like white has an unguarded piece and a not well-guarded piece. I think this is the queen trap, though, or the bishop trap. Here, well, we'll just see. If this way, I mean, here, 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 it's the Noah's Ark trap. If here, question is, can I go here and still win the bishop? Yeah, it looks like it. Is it just here? Let me see this one. I noticed as I was getting deep into this that just taking this pawn looks pretty good. Oh no, it's that. Huh. And this doesn't work. Okay, if you say so. It looked like it worked to me. Go here, chasing him away, and we could have gone there. Okay. Then we end with 2 pieces hitting. Okay. I'm not seeing bishop takes c6. Bishop. You're right, Daniel. Oh my goodness. That's funny. I'm like, there's like 2 ways they can go, and they both lose. And Daniel's like, well, what if they take a piece? I'm like, ah, yes. What if they take my piece? They wouldn't dare do that. All right. We're going to do a little puzzle Inception here. Oh, actually, that looks like it works fine. We can take off the score. Boop. Okay, let's just do it like that instead of full screen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it looks even better on full screen. The whole, I have to figure out what to do on the right panel. It does not look very good. I think this just looks better. Except for that, this thing is not doing its job well enough. Well, oh well. All right, white to move. What is happening? If you're new to the puzzle Inception, we do not know the result. It could be anything. It might be a tactic, there might not be. Even though it's white to move, black might be winning. Anything is possible. Okay. Rook e1 seems annoying. Pinning the knight. I don't know that that's winning. It is annoying. They can't protect with the knight very easily. They could bring the queen back to d8. They could bring the bishop to f6. We could immediately put another attacker on it with, say, queen e2. We also have the possibility of bishop d6, which probably is going to hang to the queen, though. Okay. So I don't know if white has a winning move here. It feels like they could. White might have a winning move here. Black has an undefended bishop, an undefended queen, and that uncastled king with a vulnerable knight. I do think white is winning. They have a space advantage. They have the dynamic time advantage of having that king in the middle. All of white's pieces look better. It's a fairly open center. I think white is winning. So now we're left with the question of how much. Is there a tactic or not? And whether or not there's a winning tactic, I still think rook e1 looks very good. It makes it harder for them to castle. If they play bishop f6, which I think they can, I don't know, it's not that great of a move. Like, I could go knight e4, immediately hitting that bishop. Also hitting d6 for a second time. So now I think white is definitely winning, and we might even just call this a tactic. So white wins. And there's not, oh no, is there a tactic? No. It's just simply we're winning. And queen a4 check is the move the computer likes best, with a 4.1 advantage. Yeah, I agree with all that. All right, let's see another one. Okay. Black to move. Who is winning? I don't see any tactics in this position. At least not for black. I haven't really looked for white. But it doesn't look like either side is going to have a big tactical shot here. I don't mind knight d4. And then if they take with their knight, I'm taking back with either pawn, have a very nicely placed pawn. That knight has to run. Doesn't have a good square to go to. So the question is, do I think black is winning? Because of knight d4. I don't think I want to go so far as to say winning. I think white also has f5, which will be quite annoying. And then maybe even followed by g5. It's like f5, bishop moves, g5, knight has to move. Their king is stuck in the middle. Wow. I could see this ranging anywhere from white wins to black edge. So now I have to take a few moments and really think about it. What's happening, Serendify? How are you doing? Okay. So if it's black's turn to move, what's black doing? Let's say black goes knight d4. White just ignores it and pushes that pawn. That seems bad. So what if we take the pawn? And then they take back with their knight. They're hitting our bishop. I don't think we mind that much if they take. Boy. I'm going to say it's even. I think white has its advantages, black has its advantages. We're going with balanced. Incorrect. White has an edge. Okay. So white's space advantage is somewhat compensated by black's better king safety. That's quite a hilarious of a statement. And the move is black should play e takes f4. That doesn't look that great though. It looks like e takes f4, knight takes. I would agree white is advantaged here. But what if you don't do that? What if instead you go here? Engine says still white has a very slight lead. So this edge is small. It's less than 1 or right at 1, which, okay, all right. Hello, nice to catch you again. Yeah, it's good to see you again. All right, we're gonna do like 2 more, and then we're gonna do our hard mode one for the day. Okay, who's moved black to move? Interesting. So if that king of theirs were on a worse square, we would be winning as black. As it stands, I don't think we can, like, there's no way black can win this. White can move the king back 2 squares, trade off the 2 pawns, and win the pawn. So to guarantee that it's at minimum a draw for white, even though black has that very advanced pawn. And like if black tries to bring the king in to e5, rook moves. I think that's probably losing for black. I think black needs to keep its king down there. I'm going to say balanced. I think this 1 pawn does enough to offset the other 2. Yeah, I'm going to say balanced because of that reason. I think it's a draw. Okay. Thank goodness. So after f5, it says king e5 is the right answer. Okay, I think I would have moved back. I want to see if my answer is right. It's just like here. No, that's losing. Here is losing. Only move that keeps the draw is this move. And king f7. Which, what? No, that loses. Okay, yes. Only king e5 keeps the advantage. Okay. I was a little worried that this might be a problem for black. But I guess not. Oh, because they're just coming back. Okay. That makes more sense, but this engine is kind of all over the place now. So no, it's saying king e4, move up to try to push this guy through. But when you do that, this pawn's a coming. Okay. So, interesting stuff. We've got like some races happening, and in the end it's even. Fair enough. Okay, last one before our big project of the day. What about h5? They just take, though. I could go check, takes with the king, takes with the bishop. I don't think that's enough. Yeah, I don't think there's a tactic here. What if I move the rook first and then push the pawn? Can I trap the bishop? No. Doesn't look like it. I'm going to say there's not a tactic here. And then if that is the case, then I feel like white's pawn on e5 is a very big target that will be lost at some point. E3 pawn is also a big target, but being guarded pretty well. Maybe queen d1. Nope, that drops the bishop. I kind of want to give black a lead here because of this reason. I don't really see how they're going to make progress, though. Maybe something like bishop d4. Maybe just push the pawn. When I say black has a small edge, but I'm not sure. e5 then h5 might have some attack. e5 then h5. Maybe this is... Okay, I'm going to say black has an edge. No, I didn't mean to hit Max puzzle. Alright. Black is winning because of activity and pass pawn. Okay. That is something I really struggle with. What's that difference between having a really good position and winning? They can be challenging. Okay. I'm going to blank the screen for a second. See how easily I can get set up something else before we move on to our big thing today. Chapters 1. I'm going to show my game from last night. I'm going to show the tactic first, and then I'll show it. Okay. So from here, what if I just go... No, that's not going to work for sure. I just don't want you guys to see the move because I want to ask you about it. Will this one work? Yeah, that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's working. Okay, so I played this very poorly, and then suddenly, after some really bad plays, I found some stuff. Okay, actually I should go back here first. So first, I put my knight en prise, but if they take, then I go here and I win. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I got my knight in a much better spot. And then he moved his king to what looks like a very bad spot. I thought, well, I guess he doesn't have a lot of good choices, right? Because I was looking at that, but then I would take here and fork him. And if he goes there, maybe that's just as bad as where he went, because then I could go here and here. But the point is, after he moved here, my tactical radar went up, and I said, that's checkmate. If I could get this 2-move sequence with my queen, that's checkmate. Clearly I cannot. There's a rook in the way. But I can move my rook over, move the queen, and when the queen moves, I threaten the checkmate, but that's not all. I'm also threatening the bishop. So all you can do is stop the mate. I take the bishop. And now if we look, suddenly I am up a piece, especially after boom. So now it's attacking here twice, but it's covered. Everything I have is covered. I have won the game. I am up an entire piece in the end game. I took a bit here, and I was like, what do I do, though? Like, first I'm looking for the mates, right? I'm like, ooh, can I get a mate here? Can I, like, go rook h2 and try to push forward, push through some kind of mate? I really wasn't sure. It's white's turn to move, though. So white went here. I was considering going here, and this almost forces the queens off. Every square is covered except here. And I was like, that's not bad. He moves his queen over. So I'm going to go here and cover this pawn so that I can move the rook. Moves his rook to the open file. And now I'm just about to go here. Like, so close to going here. And then if he goes here, then I go here. And if he tries to take the time to do this, of course, I would win his rook. So this is a very good sequence, right? And I almost made that move. It's a very good move. But, I did not. Instead, I made a better move. I went here. Because now, the queen can go nowhere. And I'm hitting the rook. It's a double attack, right? So, move the queen anywhere on the board, win the rook. So, there's only one feasible move. Takes, and then I thought, from here, this should be a pretty straightforward win. Turns out it's not, actually. The engine, what does the engine say it is from here? I'm up 0.1. This whole piece is not enough, which to me is astounding. I think I would be able to win from here, even if the engine says it's equal. Maybe the engine can defend it. I think it's very demoralizing for a human, and I think it would be incredibly hard to win. Alas, that is not what he did. I assumed this was coming, no problem. And within a half a millisecond, he made a different move. Yeah, we see, oh no. We see rook takes knight. And he's went here. And I was just, like, I handled my losses very well. But I had a very hard time in this moment because I had been losing for a long time. I played poorly in the beginning. That's not true. I played very well in the beginning. I made one mistake in the middle of the game that caused all of my problems, and I was dead lost. And he just never put me away. Then I found the brilliant tactic, came back. I was applauding myself. This guy is like 1850 or whatever. He's almost 200 points higher rated than me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I beat this guy. This is amazing. I just got to close this thing out and go home. It's the end of a very long day. Just got to win and go home. And then he takes, and now the game's over. There's nothing I can do. The game is over. I was devastated. So there you go. That is how you lose this ending. Turns out, though, I did make a mistake. This saved me. But this is super strong. Because now I'm hitting everything. And now I'm cleared up to go here. And he's really in trouble. But not what happened. Devastating moment. Devastating moment. Okay, so we're going to do the last thing we're going to do today. We're going to look at this thing on forward chess. What I meant to do. Didn't mean to do that. All right, so we are going to look at the next puzzle in Think Like a Super GM. So we looked at puzzle 1. Let's see. Let's undo solutions. Bloop. We'll go to puzzle 2. This one is a level 6 puzzle. Oh no, is that the engine on? Do I have the engine on? Oh my god. What is happening here? Oh no. I think I saw it too much. I didn't see the answer. But we're going to move to puzzle 3 because I think I saw an evaluation. I don't even want that much. So we're moving to puzzle 3. All right, here's puzzle 3. We'll come back to puzzle 2 another time when I have totally forgotten, which I will. Okay, so it is white to move. This is another level 7 like last time. Not a lot on the board, and there's not that much happening. So it's kind of a weird puzzle. Clearly, we have to keep an eye on our rook that's being threatened by the queen, and the queen is threatening the a2 pawn. And apparently, there are no letters or numbers, which is very shocking. Let me see if I can change that in the settings. Here we go. I can't. Okay. That was weird. Okay, we got the letters and numbers. That should help. Ooh, I wonder if I can set up to where I can draw on it. Board theme, piece theme, font size. No. I've never had to draw on it before, so it does not work. No problem. Okay. So what do we have here? Something forcing, rook takes knight. Sorry, queen takes knight, that seems to do nothing. Also, to be clear, we are up a pawn. I didn't notice that. Okay, so we're up a pawn. We could move our queen to, say, c7. It's quite a menacing spot for the queen. But something else I didn't notice, they're attacking our bishop. So if we were to do that, they would take our bishop, we take their queen, they take our rook with check, we lose. Also not great. We could attack their queen by going rook d2. They can't take any material. They could check on, say, c1 or b1. We would block the check with... We could block it with the bishop if we wanted. That's kind of interesting. But I think we're going to run into trouble with bishop takes knight, and then queen... yeah, then queen takes rook. So I don't think that works. Let's one more time. Rook d2, check, queen check, bishop covering, bishop takes knight, we take back, rook falls. Yeah, so that doesn't quite work. Maybe though what does work is rook d2, queen c1, rook d1, repeat. But I guess not, because it would be rook d2, queen b1, rook blocks, queen takes a2, and queen is now hitting b3, and that probably drops. Okay. So not liking any of these options. I'm not liking this very much. For being up a pawn, not loving our position here. The fact that that bishop's under fire feels like the biggest problem. So, oh, I was going to say, so I'll just move it to c4. And then they'll take the rook. So, yeah, having our pieces be so meshed together is quite annoying. So far, the best thing I can find is the whole rook d2, queen ends up taking a2, pressuring b3 line. Don't love it. That seems fairly evenish. Is there really no counter-attacking line? Okay. I was looking at bishop d3, but then takes the rook check, and then that's going to lose. Man. White seems to be in big trouble now. The more I look at this, the more convinced I am that white is in big trouble and would just like to survive. So, I want to go back to this rook d2 thing. Rook d2, queen b1. Okay, if they do that though, then I could bring the bishop back to f1 and sort of hold everything. And then if they go to c1, then I could just bring... Wait, what? Check there, there. Yeah, that actually holds everything just fine. Except they'll probably go bishop a6, hitting that bishop a second time. And then that's where we get into trouble. Maybe we could play... yeah, that seems to be trouble. Okay, I don't think that plan works. Another idea is rook d7 to counterattack. They check. Bishop goes to f1, bishop goes to a6, and then I could go something like knight d2, but then they could go rook. I can't go rook d8 because I'm on the d file. That just doesn't look great. That looks bad. Boy, I do not know. This is very hard for me. These are the kind of positions I struggle with. Like, I'm on the back foot. There feels like there's an only move or two, and I just can't find them. All the moves I keep coming back to instantly lose, like bishop d3, rook d7. I just can't find a reasonable move. Only reasonable move I can find is rook d2, and I do not like it. I just found a reasonable move. I don't know if it's any good. Knight e1. No, it loses the bishop. What am I talking about? All right, what about king f1? Holding on to the bishop so that now if the queen, say, takes on a2, our rook can now move. But then it's like there. Check, bishop covers, bishop a6. And still seems like we're dead. It almost feels like we don't have a queen in this position. Our queen is like doing so little right now. Okay, having said that, what if we just went queen d6? Doesn't really threaten a ton, but it does drop the bishop. Oh my goodness. I think rook d2 is the only move I can find. It's not good. I feel like they're going to go queen b1. I come back. They take a2. I go to d2. No, maybe I don't. Maybe I leave it on d1. Can I protect that? Yeah, okay. So then maybe I can go bishop c4. And then now... Ooh, do they have a very clever move with rook d8? And then if I take... They just go queen b2. No, because the bishop could always slide back to f1 in a pinch if we're getting a rook out of the deal. Also, that would come with check. So I think that's what I'm going to say. I don't think this is right. I don't think rook d2 is the move. I think there must be something better. But it's combined with the idea of rook d2 to hold on to the rook, and then when they take the pawn, then I'm going bishop c4 to unpin that. Then eventually I'll go like h3 or something. But that is my move. It is rook d2, and I'm going to say that it is equal. That if they take that pawn and I get the bishop c4, I should be able to hold this. It will be hard, but I think I can hold it. That's my answer. Let's see what you guys all said. King f1 and rook e1 are your two thoughts. Okay, I think those are fair thoughts. King f1 followed by bishop a6. Ooh, that does look tough. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, we're on puzzle 3. I'm just gonna read to you all the solution then. So John Green, his elo is 1563. He says that black is threatening to take the bishop on e2. Correct. And also the pawn on a2. Correct. Can we make an active move? Can white play rook d7? No. Lose the bishop. Yep, we saw that. White might have an edge. Has to be careful. He likes rook d2. So my move is the same as the person rated 1563. So around my rating, let's see what the reasoning is. White can't develop pieces where black can, so rook d2 would fix something of that. Is he gives a check. Wait, how was I handling the check? All right, no, I was just going to go back to handle the check and then go bishop c4 after they took on a2. Yeah. Okay. So it just basically says rook d2 is my move. White is better because black's pawns are weak and isolated. I disagree with that. I think it's even. I think it's rook d2, but I think it's even. Okay. Anonymous at 2305 says white's a pawn up. The active queen's a problem. He wants to look at rook d2 and sees queen c1. And then says bishop d1. Okay. And I maintain my material advantage. And he said, wait, that's not true. Because of what we saw, right? The whole problem with the bishop taking the knight, causing lots of problems. So he says d2, c1, d1, c2 is a repetition. That's true, but it doesn't have to repeat. So let's see if he finds that. He does not. He says after rook f1, there's going to be bishop a6, so that's a problem. And so he ends up going with rook e1, which looks passive, but is the only good move. Okay, and he says that white is winning. Yes, I understand rook d2 allows a repetition, and I'm great with that. I would love a draw here. I think we're losing. Even though we're up a pawn, I just think black is too well placed, white is too tied up. If white could untie with a draw, I'd be thrilled. Julio Granda, Elo 2630. Now we're getting into the big range. His first move is rook e1. He says after rook e1 he likes white. They have a better pawn structure, and white can place bishop c4, h4, h5, all kinds of good moves. Another interesting move is knight d2. We didn't look at that. Knight d2 does look quite promising. You can still snag that pawn. So he gives a line, rook knight d2, queen a2, queen e7, c7, bishop takes. And he says he's not all that satisfied with knight d2. Probably better to stick to knight e1, and then he comes back and says, no, it's this line. So let's see his line here. Wow. And now white has an advantage because that pawn is going to fall. It's not much of an advantage, though. And he says it's plus 0.9. That is a very specific number. Okay, now we're to the big dog, Michael Adams. What does Michael Adams say? Let's see, how do we go all the way back? Here. Okay, Michael Adams says the bishop is attacked. He has three options. Rook d2. We got one of the options. Rook e1. You guys got that option. And king f1. Look at that. We got all the options that Michael Adams is going to look at. He says what we said, king f1 is bad because of that. Okay? Ruled out. This, and it's a repetition. So, that's what I said. I said it's a repetition. I see that. I'll take the equals. Okay? Other move, rook e1. He goes through this line. Wait, what? We can do that? That does look good. Actually, that just kind of looks even. And then he says, wait, maybe this would be better. Okay, that's the line that the last guy looked at. So then he says rook e1 is probably the strongest move, and this is the line he wants to give. Just go right to h4. Wow, okay. Interesting. He says the promising position for white, it's rook e1, and that is evaluation of 0.3. Okay, what do you guys think? Is he right? We're about to look at the deeper analysis. I tend to trust Michael Adams as the 2700 GM. I didn't look much at this idea of rook e1. I wish I had looked at that more. Because I looked at this idea, and I looked at a lot of the ideas, but I didn't realize, we could cover both of those. I think once I found it in the rook d2 line, I kind of gave up. But I'm guessing rook e1 is best. Yeah, I remember you said rook e1 was best. Let's see what rook e1. We should look at knight g4 sacrifices. Wow. Yeah, I think he's right also. I think rook d2 is fine. I think that'll be worth like 7 points. All right. The analysis is white has an extra pawn, but this will be gained immediately. Rook e1. White calmly plays this move. Most comfortably consolidates. The rook is securely defended by the knight here. Oh, okay, no. Rook d7 is a double blunder. This is fine. And he says that this is best because it gives us another chance to play rook e1. Okay, fine. Be that way. Okay, so I guess let's look at the line. Rookie 1, and what does he say? Way down here. Queen takes. Bishop c4 is best rather than the queen coming up. Powerful on the outpost and consolidating. That's what I said I wanted to do if they didn't repeat. Then here, ooh, interesting, going there, not allowing that trade, keeping the bishop on the board, and it says black has dislodged the bishop from its strong diagonal, but the heavy cost of destabilizing both of its minor pieces. Yeah, its minor pieces look much worse, right? Its minor pieces before were pretty decent. Now we can swoop in, they take, we're gonna come in and take some pawns. Whoa. Wow, okay. I didn't realize there was also all these tactics of brewing, but there we go. Scoring. Rook E1, are you ready? 10 points. 10 points with an eval of 0.8. Rook D2. Wow, are you ready for this one? This is crazy. Rook D2 with a score of 3 points. Eval of 0.8. So same eval. But Rook E1 is right and gives you all the points. And Rook D2, you don't get diddly squat. What? And then now there's an asterisk now because I have to explain this, right? Because this is madness. It says Rook D2 is assessed by the computer as being on par with Rook E1, but only because of the repetition when white gives the advantage. For the purpose of the exercise, Rook E1 is the key idea. Need to fight for the advantage. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. If you're gonna try to fight for the advantage, then you do need to play Rook E1. I was satisfied with the draw, and got my 3 points. And yeah, I'll just have to take that one. That's fine. That's fine. I can accept 3. I'm not. It's not ouch. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not upset. I think that's a fine answer. But that was an interesting one. Reflecting on it for myself, I think I realized why I didn't get it right. What is happening? Why is it not going back to the original position? Okay. Once I saw this as working, after seeing so many moves that didn't work, I think I was pretty satisfied with this concept of going here, here, here. Let's see what the engine says. I imagine now, and this was the main move I looked at other than repetition, I'm guessing the engine says it's 0.8 and that we're doing well. So it's 0.4. Okay, so it's still a little bit worse. And then, of course, there's the repetition. But once I saw that, after struggling so much, I was like, I'm willing to take that. And it seemed like you guys were willing to go one step farther and say, okay, well, if we can go to D2, well, what about E1? Now everything's protected. Now if they go here, we have a lot of the same ideas. We can go here, we can go up here, we can do all of the things. So I can see how Rook E1 as a slightly better version of what I was doing. So I can accept that I did okay. I would have held the draw, but alas, I would not have been fighting for a win. Foxy, you might have missed this part of the show, but you are here where you can be the star if you want. I was kind of hoping I could get you to scrimmage like Najdorf with me. We did a little Najdorf work, and I wouldn't mind practicing it. I don't know if you're available. It's fine if you're not. But if you are, we could do that. Okay, so that wraps up another problem from Think Like a Super GM. If you don't have this book yet, it's very good. This is my second time through it. That's how good it is. I loved it the first time. But the first time I was a little bit more like, I want to prove that I can do this. This time I've decided to do it differently and really trying to get into thinking processes. And why is it that Michael Adams gets them all right and I don't get them right? And I think from this one, my conclusion is that I just didn't go deep enough, right? I found a move that seemed good enough, and instead of then pushing deeper and harder, I was like, woo, woo, I figured it out. I got there, and that's good enough, and I'll stop there. Okay, so Foxy does want to play a game. Let's do it. That's perfect. Foxy's tired because I'm very tired. So we're going to have a tired battle. That is exactly what I wanted to hear, Foxy. Oh. The two tired people duking it out. All right. Let's see. We'll just do custom challenge. Unrated, black. I think 3-2 is fine. Maybe we'll have time for 2. All right. I'm going to copy the link in. Oh, do I want to go on Lead Chess? Not if you're okay with it. Just because I have it all easily queued up here. I don't know that I have a Lead Chess board that will look as nice, ready to roll. I probably do though. All right. Here we go. Let's do it. The Sicilian battle once more. I realized I was looking at my profile on chess.com, and out of my last many games, I've played all Nidor, all Sicilians, and only one Caro Kann. So if someone looks me up, they'll be like, "Oh, he's a Sicilian player." Also, I am 2-17 with the Nidor, so it's not going great. That is the worst opening score I can even imagine. So yeah, well, you got there. You got into the Nidor. We're there. Wait, what? What is this? This is not a Nidor. Okay, what is this? I assume this would have to be good. Oh, interesting, going there. What is he looking to do? F4 maybe? Boy, I will admit I have not seen this. I feel like a very safe move is bishop e7. Like, I can't imagine that being a wrong move here. A little hesitant to play bishop e6 because then you get the quick f4, f5, and that's a real problem. It's the Zagreb variation. I don't know what that means. Okay, we played this before. This is my problem. I don't remember games very well, even ones I played. Again, if he's going to go here, this is just a positional game at this point. I just castle, and now we're just playing like, it's not really a Najdorf. We're just playing regular positional chess now. There's nothing fancy anymore. It's just a regular game. I don't know what I meant by fancy. Apparently I consider the Najdorf fancy. I don't even know what that means either. So the two questions are here or here. I think going here now is, well, what if he plays f4 immediately? Am I happy to take? Not really. And if that is the answer, then maybe what I want to do is go here and go here. There is... Yeah, because this guy's not here. That is such a weird spot for it. But I guess it's not after that. What do I want to do? Wow, getting low on time. Let's go here. Then here. Then here. Then I'll decide what to do with the bishop. It's probably wrong. I probably should have just gone to e6 because now the bishop's kind of stuck. It's just, everything feels icky. Okay. Plays h3. Alright, I guess I can go here without bringing the queen up. Seems fine. I now have 2 on this. Here, I'll have 3 on it. My guess is I won't get to do that. Yep. Not surprising. I think I should have played b5 last turn. I'll go here. That's a little bit dangerous, but I think it should be fine. And then I'm going to go here. I won't be surprised to see b4 to kick this knight before I can get this set up. Though maybe it's a trap and they're going to go here. And then I'm going to lose this bishop. But I guess I can come back to here hitting the bishop. So I think that would be okay. In this position, what I maybe should be trying to do is push d5, but it is pretty heavily guarded. At this point, maybe we're just running Foxy out of time. It's been a long day. He's tired. He's using a lot of clock here. I'm using a lot of clock. Maybe I just move slightly faster. I'm going to go here. Seems reasonable. And now at f6. Moving this knight is very challenging. Because like the obvious move is move knight, rook's backing it up. But you're like, wait, where? Where does knight move to? So I think I have this. It's like even if here, 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 and then dropping back that way. So it should be this pawn is mine. Unless I'm missing something, which is certainly possible. Can you go here? Takes. Now my bishop looks like a chump. Yeah, maybe that's the best answer. Just stick the knight in the middle. But Foxy is gonna run out of time. That's that is almost assured at this point. Poor Foxy. End of a long day trying to play a line you don't know at all. Just hoping not to run out of time. I'll just go here. That seems reasonable. Now I've got all my pieces on at least reasonable squares. I've kind of given up on winning, it feels like. I don't really know what to do. I think I'm going to go here, and just claim that my pieces are getting better and better. I don't know if that claim is accurate. I think... I mean, this knight isn't really doing anything. No, but you can put the other knight there. So I want to go here. Maybe taking with the queen is right. Yeah. Then you put a rook behind it. That seems pretty good. I'll go here. Maybe I should have gone there. No, I should not have. No, I should not have. I'm going to go here. See what happens from that. Oh, that's not a good idea. Now this pawn is incredibly loose. Now I'm going to lose. It's quite remarkable. Takes, no. I'll just come back. I guess I can go here. Now this knight can go in here. It's kind of annoying. I think I put my knight here though. Sure. Okay. Then this knight goes there. I might run out of time. Interesting. I'll go here. Nope, that hangs with fork. Oh, Foxy ran out of time. Poor Foxy. Clearly winning. Let's just see what the final eval is, but I'm quite sure that that move was a blunder that wins. Well, we both played like a perfect game until that happened. So, we'll take it. Okay, let's abort and do one more. Okay, good. Let's do rematch. Hopefully it'll flip it now again. Perfect. Okay, I gotta close this one. Okay. Now he's moving fast. Oh boy. He's learned a lesson. Can't move slow. Okay, this line. I'll go here. Again, I don't remember this line very well. Here or here. For some reason I'm thinking I have to go here first. Why? I thought it was to stop him from going there. Actually, I think the move is here. Yeah. I don't know. And then I can't let him get in here. So I'll go here. And then I can't move this knight until this bishop or this queen is here. Then I'll go queen here. I'm just playing on theory. I'm not even paying attention to the board. That's probably not good. Whoa. That's a big move. I think I'm going to go here with the idea that I can go there after this pawn push. Okay, so he's going to stop that. I'll go here. Maybe this here was better. I went here to contest this guy, but I'm not sure that was a good idea. So I'm kind of in the way of all of the shenanigans over here if he castles long. I don't know if that's the plan or not. Nope, the plan is just to bully my poor knight. I'm gonna go here, maybe there. And then maybe here. Although I don't want to close that off with the pawn. Probably here first. Okay, so I was getting that. I think I like the idea of taking here. And then I can go here if I want. That's close to being good. I'm gonna go here. And now we're doubled here. I assume maybe the bishop's going back. Oh, bishop's gonna go here. That's a bad move. Although I do have this little trick, I don't think that's gonna be enough. In fact, if here, just there, no, that loses the pawn back. But I think that's probably the right idea anyway. Just kind of saying, well, now you can't castle. Maybe the king is safest in the middle anyway. I don't know. I think it was an error though. If I could take it back, I would have castled there. Uh-oh. Foxy's getting behind on time again. He was moving fast. But maybe he's just calculating. How dare he? So yeah, so if here, if goes back, I take that with the bishop, not the rook, hitting the queen. And then I can go here. I've got the open file on the king. Maybe I'm like here. This bishop looks quite bad. Okay, you went that way. Yeah, that works just fine. What about here, hitting that? If moves, hitting that. Sure, let's try that. Oh, I was thinking I was hitting this pawn through the knight, but I'm not because of the bishop. And I can't take that, and I can't go there. Have anything interesting? Doesn't seem like it. I think I'm just going to connect the rooks. Okay. I think I like this. Right? Going there. It's not like my king's over here anymore, so it's not a big danger zone. If I go here and he goes there, I go here. Things seem to kind of fall apart. I think I would rather just push this. I guess the question is what if takes. No. Here, there. I could probably just go here and have to sack, so I think that's fine. I think I calculated that works okay. It's not ideal. I might even just bring my king back now. Just say I don't really want to be on the file anymore. The file's not working for me. Also, I've enclosed my bishop, which is probably not a great plan. But I do get this now, and I think that's fine for me. I think that's what I wanted. Some really wild ideas. Nothing quite seems to work. Let's go with this. Followed by this. Probably this kind of stuff is going to work now. My ultimate plan is to go here and then take the king out of the firing zone. Ugh, that's not great for me. Yeah, I'm going to go here. If they take rook here, it's not so bad, I guess. Interesting. So I do get to go here. I like that. Where are they going to go with the queen? You blundered bishop g5. Oh, you did. Oh, no. Okay, well, I missed that. Missed that. I do have this. So maybe here. Maybe then here. Yeah. Then he goes there. Check. It doesn't look too great. I can't really go here because of that check. Maybe I go like this and like the ultimate castle by hand. Yeah, let's do that. That seems good. Let's get out of here. Just get out of here. Good luck tracking my king down if it's nowhere to be seen. My pawn structure looks slightly better. Well, actually, a lot better. They are up. He is up a pawn. So that part's not great. That pawn is falling with some real serious danger. That is a problem. But I could go here. And now it is not falling. Uh-oh. That was a big blunder. Now we're in trouble. Now everything falls apart. Take that. Oh! Oh no, and it's a check. Oh no. I should have gotten there. Oh man. We're in trouble. Oh yeah, that's trouble. Remember when I was doing okay in this game? I do. I remember. It was great. Okay, that's gonna have to do it. I have to go get my daughter here in a moment. Let's take a look at this game. I'm curious to see how long I played the opening well. Unfortunately, I would play you 100 more times, Foxy, but I do have to go. That was a fun one. Let's see. How long did I stay in? Okay, so let's check the database. Is that a move? Okay, it is the #1 move. That's what I thought. Then here is the #1 move. Interesting, A3 is the #1 move. I did not know that. I did Queen C7, G4. So we're playing all like book moves here until this. And that's what kind of just out of book. And that's a fine move. So I'm playing very well here. This is not a good move. Interesting. Why is this such a bad move? Because of G5, which he did do. I felt like I was okay here. Okay. Because here he's got this. Takes, hitting the queen. This is like a very standard move. Can't go there, of course. Here, yeah. And now white is winning. Okay, so that was a mistake on my part. By moving that knight here, I allowed all these shenanigans. Because the bottom line in the studying I've done is that if the knight can go here and then nab this pawn also, then that is winning for white. So what's the difference of having this knight here versus not having this knight here and having this knight here? The difference is if I castle, none of this works. That's the difference. So that's the only good move is castling to protect that. But I didn't see all those tactics, and Foxy didn't see them also. Though if this is their main line, they're gonna know. I went back, they went there, and now I'm fine. And we're back to even. And this is, Peter doesn't love this move, but it's kind of whatever. Oh, right, because of that. Interestingly, the computer does not think castling is the best move here, because white is just going to continue pushing, and it's a little bit dangerous. Instead, the computer likes G6, and it takes. Then we can go here, and then we can go here, and black's doing just fine. That move ended up not being super great. This was a bad move. Okay. Computer likes knight C4 here. Yeah, that looks like a very reasonable move. I like it. I just thought, I'll get my king safe. The reason it's bad is because an immediate castle's long. This is a bad move because it makes me do the move I should be doing. I don't do it because I wanted this bishop. I thought that was a great idea. And again here, it does think going here first is best. I was a little worried. I looked at this line and I thought like, I don't know. This doesn't work that great. But apparently this is quite good. Okay. I don't know. I don't have the brain power to fully analyze it. But I thought this was good at the moment. And then I started to realize, like, oh, maybe there's going to be too many sacks here. There's not yet. Ooh, I'm winning. Right, bishop g5, which I missed in the game. He moves his king over. I'm like, what? It's like he missed the win. Okay, and then from here, it's just my king's in the middle. And suddenly, white is just fully infiltrating. And it's over. Every move gets next. Yeah, we missed a lot of the best moves. We missed a lot of the themes. It was a very ugly game. But it's kind of a funny thing. Like, when I play D4 openings, I'm always in like the 85% when I have a bad game, 90% when it's good. And the Nidorf, it's like 40%, 60%. So it's just a lot of stuff happening. You looked at the sack, but missed that bishop takes d6, knight d4, have the intermezzo. Ah, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to have to head out. Thanks so much for stopping by, everyone. We sure accomplished a lot today, and I will see you all next time.